11:59 at Radio Free America, and this is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
And welcome everybody to our daily gun show. We come to you live every day at noon Eastern, that's 9 Pacific, for about an hour each day. We do 3 gun-related topics, different topics throughout the week. We pick those on Mondays, so if you want to be part of the show, we encourage you to join us on Mondays where we schedule out the show. Let's see, we run it live on YouTube. We simulcast it over at gunchannels.com, where we're watching the comments from the people that are watching the show live. When it's all over, we'll take some of the best ofs and post them up on iTunes as a podcast. So we appreciate everybody that listens to the show, either now or in the future, that takes the time to like us, subscribe to the channels, comment on the videos or the podcast, wherever you see them. All those interactions with the platforms let us know where you are and that you're out there. We appreciate that. But it also lets the show get recommended to more listeners, and that's part of our goal. So we do appreciate the people that do that for us. We have hosts. Well, Bob's here today from Canada. Thanks for joining.
Hey, glad to be here.
We got Jimmy running the show up in Phoenix, as always. Thank you.
Hey, good to be here.
And I'm down here in Tucson. Might have Smeggy jumping in, I'm not sure. And you never know if Daniel's going to join us for the Tuesday. So we'll dig into the show. I don't know what happened to all the show numbers. They all got deleted. So we're trying to figure out who to blame for that. So we're probably on a show number in the 400s. And it's Tuesday, so we're doing Second Amendment issues. We'll be talking about educating those who just don't know. We do a state of the state on Tuesdays, and this right now we're in a series. We're going through the order of the states that we went through on the last leg of the Gun Show Loophole Tour. So we're up to Missouri, and then our normal stuff, the daily gun of the day, movie of the day, all those other things that we do. Before we dig into it, though, we usually take a break at the beginning, see if anything happened overnight or anything worth talking about.
Matt had a heck of a food show last night. That's Never Enough Ammo. Great show.
Yeah, I caught you guys the early chats, some of them yesterday at night. Appreciate you doing that, running that, the early watch, and caught the Daily Gun Show yesterday. I didn't get a chance to see some of the late night chats because I was catching up on all my morning business. Yeah, other than that, nothing. Working.
Yeah, HVS had a show where they were arguing over which kind of fake currency was the best kind to invest in.
Which one of that?
I don't know. None of that stuff makes sense to me.
Right on. Well, there's stuff that happened last night, but I guess we'll dig into Second Amendment issues. So educating those who just don't know.
And where do we want to go with that?
Yep, I'm being distracted here, so I don't know. Where do we want to start with this one?
Well, it is, what are we talking about? Like, how do you educate someone who won't listen? That's kind of what I get from those who just don't know, or don't want to know.
Well, see, I would take someone that just don't know as like an ignorance, and the people that are on the fence, I feel like they're probably easier to get than the ones that think they know, or like you were saying, I don't know.
That's a good point. You get a lot of people that just the ones who think they know, you can't convince them otherwise because it's really hard to convince them otherwise because they're only going to believe what they've heard. And that's what I find with a lot of the anti-gun people is you know, they read something or heard something years ago, and that's just set in stone in their brain. And you can throw facts, and you can throw figures at them, you can throw statistics, you can give them websites with the statistics on it, but they're just going to refuse to believe them. I mean, I don't know how many times I've had people say, oh, well, yeah, but it's the FBI statistics, you can't believe those.
Yeah. And then I guess when it comes to like teaching somebody with guns, somebody that doesn't know versus somebody that has their like preconceived bias already on what's correct, you know, maybe, I don't know, proper stance or whatever. It's easier to teach somebody that doesn't know versus somebody that, I guess, like we were saying, has their own notions of things.
Yeah, it's true. Somebody who's willing to admit that they don't have a clue, well, it's really easy to show them proof, or, you know, at least
Like, hey, no problem. You don't know. Here's this, and this, and it's just my opinion on it. You do your own research, whatever.
Yeah, or it's somebody who's got their opinions already set in their head. I mean, like so many people will just refuse to believe anything you show them. Like if it disagrees with their preconceived beliefs.
Well, we're talking about Second Amendment issues more than firearms training, so I don't think we're talking about people that, at least I'm not reading this one in this topic as people that are looking for firearms training. So if you're talking about people that are antis and you're trying to educate them on Second Amendment issues, I think the setting, right, is a determination to what you can get across. Because we watched that thing yesterday in Early Watch, that video from, what's it called, Nuance Bro, and he goes around and he interviews some people at the Moms Demand Attention rally, and yeah, they're there to protest. They're there to make their voices heard, right? So that's not necessarily the best time to expect them to change their mind. They're there to change your mind, to organize their position or whatever. So I would think in those kind of situations, the best thing you can do is not follow the narrative and to try to question them, I guess, maybe, or to maybe strategically lead them into questions or places that they have to think about it logically, and just be happy with a couple of kernels or seeds at a place like that, you know, knowing there's only so much effective communication you can get at a actual, you know, confrontation. I don't know if it's a confrontation, but, you know, an actual event like that. But then as far as educating those who just don't know, I think there's a lot to be said for posting information. So people learn at their own pace, at their own time, right, on their own methods. So some people are going to learn better from video or pictures or, I don't know, writing or whatever it might be, PowerPoint presentations. There's all kinds of ways to get information across using the methods, you know, the technology we've got now. So I think that one of the ways you can educate those who don't know about Second Amendment issues is to learn about them yourself and then to share that information with others. As you do that, you're creating content out on the web that's at least in a different way. You know, it's your content, so it's at least unique to the way you presented it and the way you researched it, and it might appeal to someone, or it might get through to someone in a different way than some other presentation, right? If the NRA puts out information about the Second Amendment, that's not going to come through to some people the same way as it would if they're looking at your blog, right? They're friends with you because you like to eat the same kind of foods, or you're interested in the same kind of weekend activities, and then here's you posting some relevant information about a Second Amendment topic. They're learning from that. Now, with enough of that, I think that those people who blindly go to these rallies just because they think it's a good idea might actually be educated out of even going to those rallies. Some of the hardcore zealots, we're never going to change their mind, and I don't know if we want to necessarily focus our message on them, but I think that there's something relevant to just creating content that's not necessarily focused at us as much as to remind us, but maybe it's new information, valuable information to somebody who's researching from the other side or from in the middle.
Oh yeah, I absolutely agree with you, especially with that video, with the whole moms thing. None of them, obviously, they have their, well, like we were talking earlier, they're set in their ways. None of them walked away like, huh, I should really think about that. But the content was good because it could put it out there for people, like you were saying, that are either maybe subscribed to this guy because of similar interests or whatever the case may be, even if it's just someone that's on the fence and looking up gun stuff. So I mean, yeah, none of those, all those people already had their bias and they were already done. So there wasn't really any reaching them, but the content I feel like was good. Educational, I guess, at least. See how the other side thinks. Right.
So you guys are trying to ignore it and trying to uh, not talk about the elephant in the room here, but really we had a new show start yesterday, the Gun News Network, and I'm guessing you guys just don't want to talk about it because you're afraid you're going to lose your Daily Gun Show money.
Yeah. That's it.
What is this?
So one of our friends from the gun channels and the YouTubes started to do a new show, and I'm not sure if it's going to be on the daily or if it's going to be on the frequently or if it's going to be on the weekly or what it's going to be. But that's called Gun News Network, and it's I think it's supposed to be a 30-minute summary of the news. Gun news.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And I'm not sure. I think the concept might be so that people can then point to it in their shows and use it as topic for conversation, right? For so we can keep up on what's going on, and then have a place that we can go to get a summary of what's happening gun-wise.
Now, who's doing this?
Some guy named Moon Food.
Moon Food? Moon or Moon?
It'll be between an hour and 60 minutes, we're told. So yeah, stay tuned for that over on the gun channels and on the YouTubes, hopefully on the Instagrams as well.
Oh, that's great, man. Way to go, Moon.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, I like that idea. And I can go there and just get all my gun news for the day and yeah.
Bob immediately sees the path to lazy. Like, oh, good. Now I don't have to do this.
I'll just copy off of Moon every day.
What can I say? I'm old. I gotta get whatever break I can.
But I think that's part of the goal, right? Is an effort in collaboration, so that we're not repeating a bunch of effort, or we're not getting so much message out there that it's noise. So we can all share the summary. All right, well, so I guess we can move along. Do we have anything else to talk about as far as educating others who just don't know? Have we seen any good comments on that? Nothing on gun channels. I don't know what's going on over there. Nothing.
Well, you got angry, said howdy. That was about it.
So the pilot episode is yesterday, and I'm not sure if we still haven't been told if we're going to see an episode today. And otherwise, though, I guess we'll move along into.
Moon was to put that channel into the gun channels chat there. We'd all be able to subscribe and everything really easy.
Good point. All right, so we're going to move on to the next segment of the show, which will be today the wild card segment. So let's go. What we're gonna do.
Let's go. Wild card.
So before we do, though, we should take a break between the first and second segment of the show each day. Feature one of the members over at Gun Channels. Gun Channels is a place we built a while back. It's a community. It's focused on firearms. It's completely run by its members. And with that in mind, we feature one of the members each day here on the show. So today, we're going in order of the people we met up with on the Gun Show Loophole Tour. Yesterday, Pink stole the second spot on the list. And let's see, out of Ohio, met up with Pink, fixed the van up. We went to the Dayton Air Museum, and then I headed west to Indianapolis. So today's featured member is the whole Gun Websites team, since there's no reason to bring up the individuals, I figured we'd talk a little bit about the team. So let's see, we started back in '97 when we were all working. I think we were all working together. We were all either had worked together or working together, but we all went hunting together, and we were hunting and fishing quite a bit. And we had friends back east and up in Phoenix that couldn't go with us every time, but had gone with us in the past. So we started to, and we were working. I think that's when we all started working at AOL together. So we started, or at least when we all started working at AOL, we, or a bunch of us worked at AOL. We started to build. I started to build websites, and some of the other guys fiddled around with tech. So one of the reasons we started doing any of this stuff online was so that we could share pictures with our friends that were back east or up north of where we went fishing. And then maybe if we were going to go somewhere, we would post something to have maps and things. This was pretty, not early internet, but it was definitely not like the internet we have today. So you could build a website and leave it there and nobody really paid attention to it. It would be fairly private. So we could just post maps and things about the various lakes that we would go to in their hunting areas and stuff. As you know, I got bored at work and more interested in building stuff. The sites got polished a little bit, and that's where the team started to grow. As we would go out and hunt and whatnot, you know, we would just be in the pictures and part of the group. And then, I don't know, somewhere along the way, we got sick of working for a living and started doing consulting for clients and doing the websites for a living. And that's when, I don't know, 3 or 4 of us decided, let's do this for a living. And that was the original team. So at some point, 2004, I guess, one of the guys moved out of town with his wife, and they've lived in Indiana since. So that's where this all gets back to the show and the tour. Met up with him after many years. The last time I actually spent any time with him and his wife, their little baby was a baby, like a little baby. He was just being born. And now she's going into high school. So that tells you how long we've been doing this stuff. So that was a pretty fun little adventure there, though. And since it really doesn't matter who any of us were back then or are now, we're just mentioning the team in general. And it's an organic team that's, you know, ebbs and flows, I guess, with as far as membership. Now you could say Bob's on the team. Jimmy, we got Edge from Texas. Who am I missing? We got Heavy and Angry starting out up in Phoenix. And we're going to be putting out some other feelers for other people to help out on the team. So, you know, kind of was people that were in the videos before. It's always been the people that help keep the websites going and our other projects moving. And again, thanks to everybody who's been on it or will be on it, and all the people that enjoy, you know, the fruits of our efforts. And then we make Gun Channel, and now we feature Gun Channel's members every day.
Yeah, there we go.
And we're back to today. So we're getting into the wild card topic, and what is that going to be today?
Let's see. Gun Channels has got Clayton suggesting pistol shooting, long range pistol shooting hunting.
Yep. All right. So when I think of long range pistol shooting or hunting, I think Contender. What do you guys think?
Yeah, that was one of the first long range pistols I ever kind of thought about. But you also got to remember Elmer Keith is one of the people who developed the 44 Magnum, which he developed for long range pistol hunting. And he's famous for taking elk at like 200 yards with a 44 Magnum.
Yeah, a little bit more than one shot, but yeah, he did it.
Yep.
You know, and Dick Casul 454, he kind of, you know, up the ante a little bit on it.
Yep. Yeah, but none of that would have happened without Elmer Keith. And the reason, you know, I mean, he was loading 45 Colt single action so hot he was blowing them up, trying to get long range out of them, right? Because that was his thing, and he helped develop all the Magnum pistol rounds, I think. Just one of those iconic. I mean, if you've ever read about Elmer Keith, I mean, the story reads like some kind of, you'd think it was a movie, you know, the kind of stuff he went through as a kid to get to where he was and actually to live. Yeah, it's a pretty amazing story. I mean, the people back in those days were pretty badass.
Yeah, in the days where you had to be tough.
Yeah, You know, you had to or you died.
I was just going in the comments here. Clay was kind of added to that, saying, "Do you practice shooting pistols on the 100-yard range?" Um, I've
Sure.
I've been on the regular range. Yeah, I was going to say I've been on the regular range where they have like steel targets set up at 200 yards. Where if you're on the right side of the range, you could use them and stuff. And I've taken a couple of shots at it. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, you
So-
got the board. I mean, but other people will take their regular 9 mil and try shoot it 100 yards and that. And there's nothing wrong with it. You can actually hit. It's just a matter of knowing where to aim and stuff and being able to hold it that steady. You know, you've got a pretty short sight picture on a pistol.
Yeah.
Nothing unachievable though. Not at 100. I mean, when we're talking thousands of yards, it gets to be difficult. But 100 yards, definitely take your gun out there. That gives you a lot more fun.
Yeah, I've seen Mikulik do 1,000 yards with a 9 mil revolver. So, I mean,
I'm going to try to see my video here, so we'll keep talking about this. But I think that one of the things that people run into, especially with pistols, is especially at ranges where you can't draw, right? So you're itching to do some kind of drawing, and you can't because they won't let you shoot, right? So you're looking to do something more interesting than just shoot at the target at 25 yards or whatever. So taking a pistol out to even longer range can give you more fun out of your pistol, give you a new challenge, and it's not necessarily something that you're just going to immediately master. So you can shoot pistol, relatively inexpensive ammo, quite a bit trying to master it. So here's a 3-minute video where I try to explain shooting long distance with a pistol. It seems like people think it's a big fancy thing that's tough to do.
Shooting at 100 or so yards at the end of that berm. And we talk about this sometimes in our conversations over on gun channels. I thought I might try to do a video to explain or illustrate the concept. So we're using 45 EC, this American Eagle, nothing fancy, 230 grain, just ball ammo. And got just 10 rounds in here, I think. So when you're shooting at a distance with the sight, especially with something like this XS, it's going to be difficult. I mean, look, my front sight literally is over whatever might be out there. So I'm going to try to zoom in. This is the maximum my camera can zoom. Let's say I'm going to shoot at that piece of grass right there, and I want to shoot at it like this. So let's give that a shot. Get my front sight on it. And can we see that puff of dirt? Let's try again. See if we can see the puff of dirt this time. Can you see where the dirt's hitting? I'm seeing that big bush on the right. So the concept is, instead of putting your front sight on something and then trying to do windage like this, or worse, like this, like some people will keep their sight picture, what I do is I keep the front sight on my target, and then I bring the rear sight down. And if the camera will focus, when I bring that rear sight down, I can use the top of my sights on the front of my ejection. I can use it as just a distance, you know, halfway between here and something. And by using that, I can get those rounds out where I want them to be. Hopefully consistently. So again, instead of trying to do your windage with an accurate sight picture and shooting high, which I cover my target, instead I bring my rear sight down, keep my front sight on the target. And I'm having a hard time seeing through the viewfinder. It's a sunny day, but we'll see what the quality of the video comes out. But that's the concept. Break your regular sight picture, keep your sight on the target, and use your rears in relation to your front.
So that makes sense. I keep my front sight on the target like I normally would, or right below, whatever you want to do, and then just bring my rears down so that, you know, I can orientate off the front of my slide someplace or something, and try to keep a consistent rear place, and then I'm basically moving the rear of the gun instead of the front of the gun so that I can keep my sight picture.
Yeah,
And you're adding a little arc too for long range, I guess.
that makes perfect sense. As well as you're not, you know, you're not just trying to guesstimate how far above the target you're aiming, because if you're trying to keep your sight picture, I mean, you're literally aiming feet and feet above the target. This way, at least you know you've got your front sight, and then with a 45 ACP, you're lobbing them in anything past about 25 yards anyway, because the trajectory on that thing's kind of like a cannonball.
And people, if you shoot at your range long enough, you know where you can aim to like hit a target after a while. But this is more portable. Like you can do this wherever you go. You don't have to shoot for a bunch of times to get used to where the windage is.
Right. Yeah, no, that's a good idea. Next time I'm out at the range and I got a 100-yard range, I'm going to give that a shot.
I guess there's some question as to whether or not that video was sponsored by an ammunition company or Glock. And it, just to set the record straight, it was not sponsored by anybody. It was not.
No, we refuse to take Glock or Frontier's sponsorship just because, we don't want to be sellouts. Even if they were begging us. Yeah, well, maybe if they begged us, but
Yeah, we'll never ever sell out. But if Glock does want to get a hold of us,
yeah,
ReallyGunShow at gmail.com.
Right. And I like the 10 mil, by the way.
All right. Anything else to add to shooting handguns at long range or hunting at long range?
Other than I think that's something that everybody should give a try to, and that might be something for a, maybe a future contest.
What about optics on handguns? You're probably against that.
I think it's great for hunting. If you're going to hunt with a handgun and you want to carry that extra weight and you think you're going to need an optic, like personally, I think if I'm hunting with a handgun, it's going to be, I'm not looking at taking a shot past 50 yards. Honestly, I'm not.
So you're not hunting long range with a shot with a pistol?
Well, yeah, well, no, not really. I prefer I don't prefer hunting. I prefer harvesting meat. So, but yeah, most of my hunting I do anyway is going to be in thick bush, and I don't get to shoot stupid handguns up here to hunt with, so I'm screwed anyway. But if I do get a chance to go do it down south, for a pig or something, I won't put optics on it, but I'll use my Ruger, and it's got nice sights, so.
Yeah, I don't know. I had that red dot on that 454, but I don't know. I only took it out to about 50 yards. That's the farthest I ever shot it before. And when I took the optic off, it's not like magnified or anything. It was just a little red dot. But once I took it off, I was aiming just pretty much the same. So that's really the only experience I have with it on a handgun. So I would say I didn't really see much of the difference at 50 yards for me.
Yeah, that seems to be like the newest thing for just like carry guns is for carry guns, but they're putting these little red dots on the back of them. And I've never shot one, so I really can't say whether I like them or not. I just think anything that bulks up a handgun is, I don't know. I'm a small guy, so if I'm carrying something, and I carry full-size guns, so yeah, I don't need any extra bulk on it.
Yeah, I hear you. And whenever I do kind of practice, I like to practice the whole point and shoot thing. So yeah, point, get your gun on target, then find your sights kind of thing. That's at least how I like to do it. But I don't know, optics on a carry gun, I don't have a problem with them. The only thing I don't like is that there's people that will, I guess, get dependent on them. I don't think that's smart to get. I've said that before. I don't think it's smart to depend on optics. On the off chance they break or something like that, you gotta use your hand.
If I'm shooting long range with a rifle, I kind of need optics.
Well, no, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm not saying optics are bad. No optics ever. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but if on a handgun, I don't know. Generally, you're not gonna, unless you are going out there specifically. You're using a Thompson centerfire contender and some rifle caliber, and you've got the ability with that thing to reach out to 300 yards. Yeah, then you probably optics would be an advantage because it changes. Instead of having to use that short sight picture on the pistol, you've now got an optic. So if you've got a good rest, it's the equivalent to a good carbine as far as your accuracy at that range. Right? So for that, yes, definitely, I like them in that case specifically.
Well, I think when we have accessory rails and stuff, I don't know, do the optics go onto accessory rails or do they still go on the grips? I guess they have to go on the accessory rails for something like the Glock. They might lock into the pins though. They're going to make like a little, I don't know, rail, I guess you call it, where rams, clicks onto the accessory rail and then comes up around the slide and holds the optic.
Oh, yeah, I've seen those before, yeah, and it's got the little Picatinny on the top, yeah.
Yeah, as opposed to like on a 1911 or something with grips, you can replace the grips with some sort of a mount and then mount optics up top. But that's the thing. Most pistols, at least, you've got the slide moving around all the time and creating abuse. So what Bob's talking about there is putting the optic on the slide. But I think for optic sight, I would want it not on the slide ever, right? You'd want it on the frame.
That's kind of why I don't like those RMR, the ones that they like, they have the cuts that you can put it directly on the slide.
Yeah, for like a red dot that's super rugged, great, but optics are and too much weight and everything. You wouldn't really do that. All right, so thanks for that suggestion, Clay, for long-range pistol shooting. I don't think we would have come up with that one on our own, but that was a good wild card topic. So we'll keep moving along, trying to keep the show an hour. And we have a state of the state. We're going to be talking about Missouri today. We've got a video of the day here. We've got other stuff. What do we want to hit next?
How about...
I didn't even feel a breeze.
Snap! That came out of nowhere.
That just happened?
All right, so you guys know what that sound means. Crack them knuckles, whip out them keyboards. Well, today we're going to be doing a visual quiz. So I have these little shotgun shells lined up here, and I want to see if you guys can identify them just by looking at them. Let's see.
Okay, first I have to say pants. 42 is not the answer, and you didn't even wait for the question.
You're all the way wrong. Here it is. So from your left to right, what are these shells? And I don't need super specifics. You could just say, I don't know, estate birdshot or wolf double-aught buck. That's all I need. Nothing special.
So they have to know the brand and the type of projectile, but nothing special like the type of primer or the type of powder.
No, nothing like that. And you don't have to do
sure, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Should be fairly easy.
Angry's got double-aught buck, magnum, bird.
Oh wait, I have the wrong answer in there. What's the brand though?
I think Rockhumber has 12 gauge, 12 gauge, 12 gauge, and 12 gauge. And now you just gave everybody the answer, by the way.
Oh crap!
Guess we got Winchester, Remington, Hornady.
I feel like Jimmy didn't mess up. I feel like everyone cheated.
Yeah. It made me second guess myself. I had to go back and look. This was a plot. Well, if anybody else out there wants to take a guess, the first one was wrong, by the way.
Okay, so
that I put in there.
The one on the left was purchased on Tuesday.
Yeah.
All right, so
I guess we can go with Angry because I kind of messed up that one, and he did sort of get it right. Buckshot, birdshot. Buckshot, buckshot.
Turns out he got it right by shooting all of them this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then if that was the case, then he would have got it all the way right. So yeah, this one was my bad. I'll take the hit on that. It was federal.
Okay, Scar says buck, bird, buck, slug.
Yeah, they would be right, except for this one is that he got the last two confused, but that's okay. Oh wait, no, that's a triple out buck. So what it is, the answer was federal double out, Winchester double alpha birdshot, Remington triple out buck, and Hornady double out buck. You guys need to brush up on your shotgun stuff.
All right, so who got it? Because Angry won't take it. He says give it to the next person who got shit close. So.
Yeah, well, whoever the next person answered was, because I kind of blew that one. So.
I'm trying to see. Buck, bird, buck, slug.
There you go.
Yeah, buck, bird, buck, slug. I think that's Scars, if I'm right.
Cool. Well, then, congratulations, Scars, on winning on a mess up day, a day that I screwed up.
So Scars gets a win with an asterisk.
Yeah, by default, Scars wins.
Clayton says he wins. Let's see. Federal, Winchester, Remington, Hornady.
I'd just like to say too, before we move on, that would be a great reason to have two monitors.
Yeah, well, I'm watching both of mine, but it got real confusing.
No, I'm saying for what I just did. I could screen share on one and then go to the other one and actually type in the correct answer.
That was on the Gun Channel side, right?
Yeah.
The winner. The most intelligent viewer is on the Gun Channel side, you said?
Well, I don't know. I'm completely confused. You guys are going to have to figure that one out.
Yeah.
Are you gonna yell? Is Bob going to yell?
Don't yell at me, Bob.
Going to yell at the winner of the day, I thought.
Well, I'm still trying to decide who's who. I mean, I got it could be Clay, it could be Scars. I don't know. Yeah. Cycle got it? Cycle? Now they're confusing me even worse because they're all saying different names.
Yeah, hey, this stop trolling Bob, guys.
All right, let's put it out there to the audience. Who do you guys think won?
Let's not. They're just going to start naming people.
Send all complaints to Jimmy care of Daily Gun Show.
Yeah.
DailyGunShow@gmail.com.
Hey, you know, I've been doing mind-numbing work all week. This is my bad. My brain isn't where it used to be.
I don't know. I'm totally confused at this point.
Yeah. So congratulations, whoever. You're the hot shot.
Whoever gets their name in first is the...
Next time, I'm going to just keep my mouth shut.
Okay. Whoever gets their name in first is a Daily Gun Show quiz hot shot of the day. And that one was just, I don't know.
Very good. State of the state?
I will take some of the blame for that, Jimmy. That's not all on you.
That's the thing. You know, Bob was the one that made me go back and look, but it's okay.
So, every day we try to hit a gun shop. So today we're doing the 45th Infantry Museum. We were recently there doing a live show. It just seems like the other day, but I know that was probably a couple weeks ago now. And here's a bit of a video that I posted on the YouTube about that museum.
A first look, an introductory look to the 45th Infantry Division Museum. This is in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. And you can see at the beginning here, we're walking through a portion of the museum. The various windows here, these displays are the various campaigns, various wars, types of firearms, As you walk through the museum, they're arranged chronologically, so you can see the evolution of firearms, the types of firearms we use throughout the various wars and campaigns, and the evolution of the machines themselves. The museum was created in 1965 and has expanded since then. The firearms themselves come from a couple of personal collections and are now under the care of the museum. It's on an old 45th Infantry Division armory building, so this is some history to the building itself. And as you can see, they have a very extensive and informative layout to the museum. There's full-time staff there. There's no cost for admission. Of course, it's always a good idea to offer them a donation so they can keep the doors open. But you can see from this introductory video, we got a lot of photographs and video from the museum. So we'll do separate videos for some of the more specific areas of the museum to show some of the depth of the collections they have there. You can see, though, that everything's well lit. It's very easy to walk through and spend some time at the museum. It's right off of 40, the main highway interstate going east and west through Oklahoma. I've probably driven past this museum dozens of times over the years. Never knew it was here, so I want to thank my friend Martin Ivy in Dallas, who let me know about this, made sure that we stopped at this museum on the tour. He understands what we're trying to do, and really glad he told us about this one. So we went up to Oklahoma City from Dallas on our way to Dodge City and stopped off at this museum. So we're going to, again, have multiple videos from the museum. We'll talk about some of the various campaigns. We've got lots of pictures so we can talk about some of the evolution of the firearms. They had great examples of some of the types of firearms, and their displays are great. You can see that they're diorama style, and you can walk right up to them. They're very well lit and very authentic. So they have, I think, 4 full-time staff and then a bunch of volunteers. They do an excellent job. And again, we're going to now, once we look at the last few pictures of the inside of the museum, we'll head outside. Again, they have 15 acres there. There's over 60 vehicles on static display. And as you can see, you can walk right up to them and touch them, and really puts history in perspective when you can stand next to some of these vehicles and aircraft. So that's the museum. I hope you enjoyed this quick tour. Stay tuned for many more. Thanks everybody who supported the Gun Show Loophole Tour up till now, and in the future, we'll continue to make videos like this one.
All right. So it's a little bit stiller photos, not necessarily slideshow completely, but some of the still shots from the museum that we were at the other day.
Yeah, that is an amazing looking museum. I kind of wish I'd had a chance to stop by there, because I'm pretty sure I was through those areas.
Oh, you were kind of near it. I mean, you had to make like a 2-hour detour, but then you would have been back on track going south. But yeah, definitely worth if you're going north or south. Taking a shift over a couple hours and seeing both Jim Davis and that one.
Yeah, no, it looks really cool. I'm probably going to have to look at planning on that when I get back down here.
And I think I mentioned in there, but it's completely free.
Yeah, got a few comments about that. You know, green blur going through there. Were you on one of those? What do you call those things with the wheels? Well, were you on a powered skateboard?
No, I just walked through because I wasn't trying to do it on like a Steadicam or some kind of rig or something. I was just trying to give people an idea of the way that the museum's laid out and the scale and the proportion of it. Then I went through and just took still pictures. So that was just me kind of walking through, and there's people there. It's not like I had the museum to myself, so I'm moving the camera so I'm not getting a bunch of people who are trying to mind their own business on my video.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I mean, I gave us a quick look at what's in there, and then like you say, there's you got more pictures out there. So
yeah, there'll be a lot more. I'll probably do, I don't know how I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to end up doing maybe some videos like, on a campaign, Korean War, and then here's the Korean War at this museum, here's the Korean War at this museum, here's the Korean War at that museum, something like that. And then maybe like of each museum, so that it's not super boring, or if somebody just cares about one section of it, here's this section of this museum, here's that section of it, here's the third section, and here's the section. So I think I'll be able to overlap some of the videos with or use some of the footage in multiple videos, and then not make it so that somebody has to watch like a half-an-hour video about, the museum. They'll get a whole bunch of little 3-minute videos.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I could spend probably a couple hours just wandering around the outside, let alone the inside.
They'd probably only let you in the outside, so that's good. All right, so that was our gun shop of the day. There'll be some museums thrown in there, a couple of shooting ranges, but anytime you have a gun shop in mind, feel free to ask the people there if you can take some pictures, and then do so. You've got a phone in your pocket, it's probably a pretty nice camera. Post them on gun channels, post them on Instagram or one of those other places, and then link them to us. Or if you can't do all that, then just link them or send us the pictures in an email. We're happy to promote gun shops. It's one of the goals of our show. All right, so now do we want to do that state of the state? Sorry, Missouri.
Missouri.
Show me state.
Is that the show me state? That's.
Yes.
It is. Oh, okay. Oh, I got that right.
Let's see. Let's let them show us what they got here. So they are shall issue. Permit to purchase required for long guns or handguns? Nope. Firearm registration? No. Owner license required? No. Carry permits required? No. Missouri is a shall issue state for concealed carry. Permitless carry took effect on January 1st, 2017, so very recent. Open carry permitted? Yes, for both long guns and handguns. State preemption of local restrictions? Yes and yes. Local governments are allowed to regulate open carry and the discharge of firearms except in self-defense. However, CCW permit holders are exempt from ordinance banning open carry. Is there assault weapon law? No. Magazine capacity restriction? No. NFA weapon restriction? No. Peaceable journey laws? Yes. Background checks required for private sales? No for long guns and handguns. Let's see here. So they're concealed carry. Missouri statute 571.070 on August 28th, 2007 says it is unlawful for a felon or a judged incompetent person to have possession of any firearm, including concealable firearm. Violation of this law is a Class D felony. Law was subject of a challenge in which a nonviolent felon successfully argued that the law is unconstitutional as applied to him. The law failed muster against the required strict scrutiny test. However, the law was found to be constitutional by the Supreme Court of Missouri. Missouri law exempts the possession of antique firearms as defined in 18 U.S.C. Section 921 from the provision that specifies the person commits the crime of unlawful possession of a firearm if he or she is a convicted felon possessing a firearm. Missouri State 571.121 says that you have to carry your permit with you when you carried a concealed weapon. If you do not have it with you, it is a crime, but you can be fined up to $35, and that county sheriff's issue a state CCW ID that reflects that you can carry concealed. Now, in September 2014, Missouri lawmakers passed SB 656, allowing specially trained school employees to carry concealed guns on campuses. It also allows anyone with a concealed weapons permit to carry guns openly in cities or towns with bans against the open carrying of firearms. The age to obtain a concealed weapons permit was also dropped from 21 to 19. Missouri became the 10th state to pass legislation allowing armed school employees since the mass shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newton, Connecticut, 2012. The bill was initially vetoed by Governor Nixon but the Missouri legislature overrode the veto during the September veto session. In September 2016, another Senate bill, coincidentally numbered SB 656, was passed allowing by anyone 19 years of age or older who may lawfully own a gun. This bill was also vetoed by Governor Nixon on June 27, 2016. After the Missouri legislature reconvened for the veto override session on September 14, 2016, the Senate voted to override the veto with a 24-6 vote. Only 23 were required. And the House followed through shortly thereafter with a 112-41 vote, with only 109 required. The permitless provision of the bill went into effect January 1st, 2017. That's a quick rundown of Missouri.
That sounds pretty decent there.
Yeah, I like it. I like they went back and changed everything too. So I like that.
Yeah.
Another nice thing about Missouri is that's where the vans are built. Millions and millions of white Chevy vans come out of there. That makes it a good place.
Yeah. But you know what? You should also mention that that's also where they have all that airflow problems for the paint.
Yeah, horrible paint jobs.
Obviously something wrong with the airflow.
But the problem is it didn't take into account how fast and efficient a Chevy van could actually drive. So the engineers just couldn't believe that we would get this kind of gas mileage and this kind of power out of them, and we're just literally driving the paint right off of them. When you have this solid a machine and this capable an engine, that's what happens.
Yeah, transmissions leave a little to be desired.
It turns out they tried to use Ford paint, and it just can't keep up. All right, well, so I guess that's enough for the state of Missouri.
Yeah, so what do we want to hit next?
I spent way too much time in Missouri.
Let's talk about the gun of the day.
This girl?
Yeah, the Linda. Does anybody know what that is? I'll give you a hint. It's one of Mac's guns of his childhood. Tim from Military Arms Channel. That's one of the guns of his childhood. There's your hint.
I think it's that you know what he does in his childhood.
Yeah.
A little concerning, but that's okay. So here's this weird thing.
It's not weird. I think they're cool. I couldn't agree with Tim more. This is a neat gun. These things are great, and they're being produced again. I mean, these are just this is definitely an 80s gun. Like this is what I used to see in gun magazines in the 80s all the time and go, oh, that's so cool. Because of course, we don't have concealed carry. It's not like you could really conceal carry that thing, but man, it is a neat looking gun.
I can't disagree with you, but that back then everyone thought this was cool, but I think that's because there was a lack of anything else cool to compare it to other than like an HK, which was basically unattainable. But there was no options. This was like the coolest of the things around back then.
Yeah, and they made them in carbines, and I really see it as a carbine. It is super huge as a pistol, but yeah, there's Linda, and that's who it's named after, I guess. Yeah, no, I don't know.
It's Linda with her Linda.
Yeah, Linda with her Linda. I want to get to know Linda. Mind you, she's probably my age now.
What's sad is Bob is wearing that same bodysuit right now.
Hey, it was style on the day, man.
I'll put it back up just in case anybody wants to put a meme with Bob's head right here. Might be entertaining.
See Bob back there instead of Linda.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Oh man, but no, yeah, this is a pretty cool shot or a cool gun.
It is, and like I say, they're making I think just the carbine ones right now again, but yeah, it's really cool.
It'd be definitely something to toss on the table at the range or something like that with your buddies, and
Oh, Yeah, have everybody going, ooh, can I try that? Can I try that?
Yeah, but then it's 9mm, so then they try it, and then they're like, oh.
Well, I mean, it's a plinker. You're shooting gophers and stuff. Small rodents.
Yeah. An assault exterminator.
I could see that being a gun that was in a lot of movies back then, or at least some. But yeah, I definitely think it's a very cool gun, and yeah, I'd love to have one. I think they're just neat. Oh. Okay. Yeah, I saw that one and went, oh. But yeah, very cool gun. And that's just, you know, gotta have something different out there all the time. So I really think that's a neat gun. So that's our gun of the day, the Linda Carbine.
Very cool.
Yep.
There's Mac with it.
Yep.
Where were they made at?
Well, the original ones were Wilkinson's, so I don't know where they were made, but and I can't remember where Mac said they're made now. It sucks getting old. Not like I take notes, you know.
All right. Well, so then that's our gun of the day. We can look at gun history. We missed something yesterday again, I think.
What did we miss?
I will jump over to the Instagram and we will see. It was the anniversary of the Marines in Beirut.
The bombing. Yeah.
My fellow Americans, this past Sunday, at 22 minutes after 6 Beirut time, a truck approached the airport on a busy main road. The truck carried some 2,000 pounds of explosives. But there was no way our Marine guards could know this. Their first warning that something was wrong came when the truck crashed through a series of barriers. The guards opened fire, but it was too late. The truck smashed through the doors of the headquarters building in which our Marines were sleeping and instantly exploded. The 4-story concrete building collapsed in a pile of rubble. More than 200 of the sleeping men were killed in that one hideous, insane attack. I would like to ask you all to pray for these wounded young men and to pray for the bereaved families of those who gave their lives for our freedom. God bless you, and God bless America.
Yeah, appreciate it, Dave.
241 Marines. Well, people, but Marines mostly. That's from the Marines Instagram feed, by the way. Excellent job of that.
Yeah.
Really, so excellent. Anyway, we missed that. So our Stupid Day in History website sucks because it didn't happen on there.
Yeah, no kidding.
1863, Ulysses S. Grant arrives in Chattanooga to find the Union Army there starving. There's nothing to eat in Chattanooga. Turns out, the Army couldn't find nothing to eat.
Just vegan restaurants and yeah, we're all starving.
Then they would have been thriving. They would have been jumping all around and been super healthy. 1916, Henry Ford awards equal pay to women. He awards them, huh? Didn't they stand up and demand it, or did he award that to them? That seems so sexist.
No, he awarded it to them. That way they could afford to buy his cars.
Me with a penis wrote that. That's
patriarchy.
1930, today. What is today? October 24th, 1930. John Wayne debuts in his first starring role, The Big Trail. Today, 1931, 1 year after John Wayne debuted in his first movie, Al Capone, Prohibition-era Chicago gangster, sent to prison for tax evasion. 1931. What happened in 1934? Not today, but more stupid gun NFA. So, looking through the list of other things here, the Yom Kippur War ends in 1973. What is that all about?
Israel was about to be attacked by a whole bunch of their Arab neighbors, so they kicked their asses.
Oh, a preliminary, type of attack.
Yep. Oh no, they were attacked by the Arabs first. I think Yom Kippur. Yeah. And then they kicked the Arabs' asses. So.
All right. Well, I just got through the list, and that was about all that's good. So yesterday we missed that anniversary of the bombings in Beirut. Let's not forget that vehicle and stuff, right? It's really the person's intent. So it's intent that we, it's really kind of.
Yeah. Nobody was screaming to blame the truck or the bomb.
All right, so that is the history of the day. Today is Tuesday, so it's another big day on Gun Channels. You've got starting out the day right after this show. There's usually a lobby hosted by Pants or Pawnery. It's an open conversation anybody can jump into. Usually you can take the topics from this show or any news of the day or whatever you want to talk about and enjoy yourselves. And thanks to the guys who host that every day. Keep in mind, somebody goes to the effort of plugging that in and running the channel and everything to do that. So thanks for that. Then it sounds like Moon's going to be doing another, well, do we know if Moon's doing another Gun News Network today?
I did not see him say anything about it.
Not see a response either, so that's a possibility. Otherwise, though, we have Ghost doing his Tactical Tuesday show. And today we're going to be starting off the Tulsa or Bust project. So ideally, some people on Gun Channels think it's cool that a bunch of other people on Gun Channels are going to Tulsa. Some people like Jimmy and Dano and others are right on that brink. I'm personally right on that brink too. I'm hoping to really hope to sell some stuff there to make it worth my while, but none of us are going there on vacation necessarily. So if it's something that people want to contribute to, like a little bit, like $1 or $2, then we're going to start a campaign for that, and we'll see if we can't start start a new tradition over at Gun Channels when people are going to meet up for like the NRA show or the Tulsa show. Let's see if we can't raise enough scratch each time in a collaborative effort, not any burden on any individual, but just a collaborative thing to get a house so that everybody who can show up gets there, gets a little bit easier. And then we can run some live stuff from there and just have some fun and continue to grow Gun Channels and everybody's individual efforts and then the collaborative efforts. So if that's something that people are into, we'll start looking at that tonight. That'll run for just a week, and that's starting on Tactical Tuesday over on Ghost's channel. You got Andalusia Armory, the guys in Andalusia who close their shop a little early on Tuesdays and turn on the webcam. And they've been doing that now for a couple years. It's definitely worth checking out. After that, you've got Hit or Miss, I guess, is next with Smeggy and Night Strike. After that is Big Gunner 81, big podcast that's been going on now for a couple of years as well. And he gets all kinds of guests from all over the place. He's usually an open discussion with quite a few Green Brand guest hosts or guests. And it's an interesting show to check out. Big Gunner 81. Am I missing anybody on Tuesday?
I think Alice has got a show. He's interviewing NEA. Did you just mention that, or am I?
I think is that a special time, or is because I know your interview show's on Thursday, or is that going to be a new thing? So yeah, Ellis is doing a show interviewing Matt, which might be a special thing because of the whole Second Amendment rally. So let's talk about that for a second. Our friend Matt over at Never Enough Ammo came up with a concept to get everybody to rally like everybody did back in 2013. Just an effort to get out there and exercise our abilities to gather, right, peacefully, and to show our muscle a little bit, flex our muscle. You don't grow muscle by sitting around. You grow muscle by exercising it once in a while. So it's a little bit of a pain in the ass to get up and go to a state capitol, let alone on a Sunday. But it's a thing to do, and it's an effort that if enough people do it, we lead the way. And if we need to do it next week because something happens, we know we're in the immediate shadow of something that can happen that can cause a real problem. And this is an effort to exercise those muscles. So check it out on his Facebook page. and maybe with some encouragement, everybody can harass him, because we're all about dividing the gun industry. Harass him about not being on gun channels. What the hell? So anyway, he's got this project, and a bunch of people are getting onto it. Tomorrow, Wednesday, early morning, Matt will be on. I don't remember the name of the thing. Somebody else remember the name of the thing? You tell me the name of the show. The Daily Caller, something like that. Some kind of national radio show in the East Coast. So he's going to be on super early, 6 a.m. East Coast time. So that's like tomorrow, tonight for the rest of us, I think. And that's going to be an interview with the national radio show with or about the rallies on the 5th to raise awareness for the Second Amendment. And that'll be, I guess, syndicated. So once the show airs, it'll be syndicated out to all the people that rebroadcast that show on their radio stations, and then all the different podcasts. Usually all those shows get rebroadcast into podcasts out there, individually from the various stations. So massive coverage. So if nothing else, Matt is getting a good education and some experience with national syndication of information like this, and getting some teamwork and some collaboration with the old established media. And that's one of the efforts we're trying to do with gun channels and with some of the other projects we're working on. So follow Matt in his adventures, and follow the various campaigns or the various efforts in each state capital, and we'll see what happens with that and how far we can take it. Anyway, I guess that was tomorrow morning, and then Jimmy starts off each day. You can start your day with Jimmy and Tony on Early Watch, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. And that runs all the way up until we start this show at noon.
All right. So I think that's pretty much got the show wrapped up.
Pretty close, except that we're also going to try to plug something and make some money. So we keep alluding to the fact that we're going to be sending some stuff out. I've been sending things out that, people, not that many people bought stuff. I had like a few things to send out that first week from the store. I finally had another sale from the store yesterday, so thanks for the person who bought something from the store. You can't imagine how much that helps. The stuff that you buy from the store, I already own. It's already here, and all it is shipping to get it to you. So that's money in our pockets here. Some of the other things that we work on, have yet to be built, so they have to be paid for and everything. There's less profit in them. So I really appreciate the people that buy from the store. But anyway, we've had a lot of the cards to deal with. There's hundreds of people to deal with over there, so it's just a lot of what would you say, just technicalities, getting everybody figured out and making sure everybody's got everybody's tracking number and that kind of thing, and getting the people who are shipping them aware of who needs to be shipped yet, that kind of thing. So I've been paying attention to that. That is becoming less of more of that's settling itself out. So now we can start to look at the winners of the daily tactical pop quiz, and then we'll start doing the tactical quiz again. So look forward to that. And we keep talking about that's coming, but that's coming imminently. I think that's what I was going to say. So I guess with that, I was going to say check out our Patreon. That's how we're going to be paying for the shipping. So just head over to Patreon, type in Daily Gun Show, and consider us.
I think we do have the movie of the day. Did we want to take that one?
Uh-oh. Movie of the day?
Yeah.
This is a good one, too. I think we did this one before a while back, but
I'm sure we have, yeah.
Yeah, The Great Escape.
The Great Escape.
I have some problems with the movie, but yeah, it's got pretty good list of stars in it. It's got a motorcycle chase scene, which actually never really happened, but because of who one of the big stars was, yeah, it had to have that.
I bet you Steve McQueen probably insisted on that scene.
I'm pretty sure he did, yeah. And he actually rode the bike himself, so he liked to do that. But yeah, this was an amazing, like the real story was an amazing story, and they didn't do too bad on the movie. I mean, other than that one motorcycle chase scene, which was kind of fanciful and didn't happen in real life, it was fairly authentic. Like this was an amazing escape attempt out of a Luftwaffe prisoner of war camp, where they dug 3 tunnels, hundreds of yards, and just the logistics of it to build these tunnels. Can you imagine? I mean, building tunnels with no tools. They were taking their beds apart to get boards out of the beds to use for shoring up the tunnels. They built a little railway station, not a railway station, a little railway track in the tunnels to haul the guys, because it was hundreds and hundreds of yards. So I think a couple of the tunnels either collapsed or were discovered, but one tunnel did actually make it out, and quite a few guys got out. I don't know the exact numbers. I believe it was in the hundreds. And I think a couple of guys actually made it back to England. But most of them got captured. The Gestapo then marched about 50 of the prisoners out into the woods and murdered them. But it was just unprecedented, the number of escapees in one night, and just like I say, the logistics and everything that went into it. So it's a good movie to watch for that, and I'll give it 2 thumbs up for sure for that.
I'll give it a thumb up. I like the movie. It was definitely something that you could watch again. I think it was Z. Z was the one that originally told me to watch it, so I've just actually watched it within 2016, maybe something like that. So I mean, it's kind of still sort of fresh. Not really, but it was a good movie, and I would definitely watch it again. And I suggest other people should watch it. Not only for the historical value of the actual, the escape, but the historical value of, old timey movies are always cool to watch.
Yeah, and really, these were like star quality actors from both England and America in this movie, and as a personal point, I'd like to say in the original Escape, Canadians played a prominent role in it. So we were all in that war together, though. You got to remember, guys.
Oh, yeah.
All together beat the Nazis.
They also make a good point here on the firearm database about blanks being dangerous still. Oh, that fire. Imagine if you put that like to his skin or something. He'd definitely get a nice little burn. Probably burnt that coat.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you just look at the muzzle blast, and you can look at the look on the actor's face.
Yeah. Part of that is terror, not just pain and acting. But yeah. So a little lesson there with their movie of the day. Blanks are dangerous too, guys.
True that.
Yeah, I just was looking it up, and it says of the 76 in real life, of the 76 escapees, 73 were captured.
Yeah, so 3 made it.
Yeah.
But the original plan, I think, if all 3 tunnels had gone, there would have been so many hundreds of prisoners out there that the odds are that more would have got away, right?
As 600 men helped build the tunnels, and they knew that only 200 were going to be able to get through it.
Yeah, I think that was all they could move in the night. Yeah. Still an amazing feat of engineering and just tenaciousness, because the work. I mean, if you when you watch the movie, they do make a good point of showing just how bad and dangerous that work was. There were cave-ins on top of people, and it would have been just brutally hot and heavy work trying to dig like that, laying on your belly.
Oh, yeah.
Just, amazing that they managed it. That's the generation, though, man. That's the greatest generation that's happened in hundreds of years, as far as I'm concerned. So that's our movie of the day.
Well, here's another thing. Since you talk about the greatest generation, you can talk about the greatest YouTube channel. I got a silver button over here. So YouTube gives you when you're so good. They give you like a little speech and whatever, and then yeah. So when you get 100,000 subs, you get this button. So I did.
Oh, did you spray paint it?
No, see this big ass thumbprint on it though?
Yeah.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
This big thumbprint right here. So it's all in glass, like a big fancy thing. It's all written on here, all fancy. And then yeah, somebody stuck their thumb right on it. Hey, thanks, guy.
I will show him 100,000 viewers.
Well, if you go on the YouTube and you type in play buttons, they give you these for all kinds of things. And once you get into like the millions, because there's people that are huge on there that have got millions and millions, so they come up with crazy new play buttons all the time. This is like the first, I guess, at 100,000. Anybody gets to the 100,000 though, keep in mind they send you an email that says click on this link, and that's how you get your button. I didn't know that, so whenever I got this in 2013, I think it was, then I didn't know that I was supposed to be looking for an email. So then, like last year, sometime somebody said something about you have to have an email. I went back, and sure enough, there's this unread email from 2013, and finally went through it, you know, bugging enough people, and finally got it. So it was a little bit of a pain in the ass. It took me about a year, but there it is. And it says gun websites on it. So that means somebody at YouTube has to acknowledge that another gun website or a gun channel is out there getting views. Anyway, patting ourselves on the back because we don't get that many chances to do it.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's excellent, man.
Okay, now you can end the show.
Okay. Well, on that point, so we'll do our daily quote. We always try to end the show with a quote. This one's by Theodore Roosevelt, again, because I like him. So anyway, before we get to that, though, I would like to just remind everybody, please like, share, subscribe. You know, we can helps us get our helps us get out there, and yeah, we want to spread the word. We're alternative media, and really we just want to be on the show. So hey, spread the word. Thumbs up, share, like, subscribe, and if you can, support us on Patreon. The link will be in the bottom of the show description. Oh, I'm messing this up today, something fierce. But anyway, Theodore Roosevelt. It's actually kind of appropriate for the way my mind's working today. Old age is like everything else. To make a success of it, you got to start young. Thanks, everybody, for watching and listening. We'll see y'all tomorrow.
The guys and gals of GunWebsites.com encourage you to take a CCW class every year, practice at least once a month, and carry every day. Thanks for watching GunWebsites.com.